Viewers, welcome back. Actually, আমরা যখন এই দেশে আইছি আমরা early 40 বছর 50 বছর আগে life was not like this viewers. আপনারা এখন যারা youngster আছেন third generations, there was a lot of struggle. আমরা struggle করতে establish করা was a very hard job. Let's go and find out. So how did you break the news? Tell me.
I broke the news through friends or, and intermediaries. So I couldn't say directly, as you know, in our culture back then.
So Sasa agreed eventually?
Eventually my mum and dad agreed. Everybody agreed.
MashaAllah. How much would you say the contribution your other half, Bobby, has contributed in your life?
Very much so, because...
if I'd say 10 mark, would you give more than 50? 5?
10 mark, I would say probably 9 out of 10.
Why? Why so much?
Because, I was so focused on football, and she always encouraged me to do good in terms of studies, work, look after the kids as well. So she had a lot of responsibility.
Is she fit and well still?
Yeah,
and
alhamdulillah.
She's
yeah,
working?
I mean, we've been married for 35 years now.
And she's working?
She's working. She's a teacher.
Oh.
Yeah.
So the children's got a very good upbringing?
Yeah, alhamdulillah. I say apart from football, not a lot of people know I'm a qualified accountant. So that's my kind of a profession. But
you don't do accountancy much now?
I don't do much accountancy. My role is now CEO of Sporting Foundation, so I run the organisation. But there's a bit of accounting.
So on the wedding, where did that happen? Where? Is it a mosque happen or is it a venue? Where is it? Or
it was Swanley School.
Oh, school.
Swanley School.
I mean, those days schools are restaurants.
School,
there was no venues available.
There was no venue, not like your Grand Meridian and other venues.
So then now you you learned English, you're communicating, Tesco job finished, you got now married. What next?
What next? I got a job, and whilst I was doing a job, I did my accountancy studies in the evening. And then I eventually qualified as an accountant, and then got a job at TfL Treasury in their Treasury department. So that was quite a proud moment, because those days it was very difficult to get those kind of jobs for us Asians or Bengalis. Yeah.
So that's interesting. So now, when did you get your first baby? First
baby was when I was 25.
So if I ask you, when was the happiest moment of your life? Which one? To get married or to get the baby? Which one would be?
It's a difficult one. Every option has its own moment.
But when would be the most happiest time in your life that you are the happiest man in this planet? That Allah has blessed you something?
It's going to be difficult to pick a moment, because I've got many,
So mention one or two then.
Obviously, I'm very proud of my mum and dad. I kind of enabled them to go to Hajj. Both of them. That was a proud moment. Obviously, getting married, being a qualified accountant. My first son, Ibrahim, born in 1997, and all my kids, I'm very proud of. There's so many moments. So I don't want to say that there's one particular moment.
Great. Now let's just move on. There is in your childhood you wanted a BMX bike. Tell me more about it.
So Jalil Bhai, those days we were not, as a community, very economically well off, and so those days BMX was in fashion. I don't know if you remember. And
when I came from Bangladesh, there used to be P016 bike.
Oh, right, okay.
You remember when you come to England, BMX, even we used to get undermined by the others because we couldn't even afford to. I don't know about you. I couldn't afford to buy a Nike shoe.
No, that was true. That was true. I mean, as you say, there's nothing to be ashamed of.
No.
That was our economic condition.
Yes.
So, like every youngsters, I wanted a BMX, but I couldn't afford it. We couldn't afford it. So that's something I really wished for. Yeah.
And there is something about your younger brother, especially to cope with being alone.
Yeah. So in terms of my mum's input, I mean, like all mothers, they worked really hard, and I'm so proud of my mum. And as I have a special relationship with my mum, because I was her only son for almost 10 years before my next sibling was born. And she worked really hard, and also we had my younger brother, he was autistic. So the reason I'm saying those days, Jolly, was very difficult.
I mean, it's...
even now it's difficult.
I don't think we knew the word autistic those days.
এই সময় আমরা
আমারও ভাই একজন autistic.
So এই সময়, can you imagine, my mum used to look after 6-7 people, wash clothes, etc., cook. And on top of that, we had a brother who needed special attention. So
Sasa work কতটুকু impact করছে? He's devoted his life just trying to bring his children
Yeah,
up.
it's like with all fathers at those time, work, making sure there's bread on the table, and that was their focus really.
Did Sasa ever said that আমরা এদেশে আইছি রে ফুত কদিন বাদে যাইমুগি? Was that mentality there or not?
It was there. সকলেরও একটা আগর mentality আছে, then দেশো আমরা যাইমু.
I want to move to something serious, but before that, when did you lose Sasa?
Unfortunately, my dad passed away in 2000.
May Allah accept him. So did he just a sudden death, or was
No, he went back home, unfortunately, and he died of a heart attack.
In Bangladesh.
So
did you go there?
I did go there.
And bury him.
You know, do the shinni.
And Sasi is still well fit. Does she watch Channel S?
She does actually.
MashaAllah, so she will see you there on the month of Ramadan, inshallah. Right, moving to the next. Since the inception of Channel S in 2004, you've been very kind enough to dedicate some of your time to this Channel S voluntary. You know, I have experience of working with you guys from
RFC,
Spottings and RFC, everything else. Why did you dedicate yourself to help others? Where did that came from? Did it come from Dada? Did it come from Mom? Where did this come within you that you want to help the other people?
Because, Jolly, we know as a community, we wasn't privileged. Everything we had to have, we had to fight for it. In 71, we had to fight for our independence. When we were early, we had to fight for everything, racism, etc. So that kind of instills a kind of a passion to help other people who are less fortunate. So that, you know, kind of instilled in me. And looking at personalities like yourself, Jolly, because if you remember, Sport in Bengal, when we needed sponsors those days, and early days.
20 years ago.
Yeah, people appreciate, you know, like when you start off something, you know, when people help you when you start off, you really appreciate.
Thank
you. So
yes,
you helped us. And
no problem. I want to find out more about you. Right?
Yeah.
You joined Young Muslim Organization age of 11. Why? You could have joined so many different things, but why did you join?
Because এই সময় তারা, they were very prominent. That had a real kind of effect on my life, because from 11 till 20, I was with Young Muslim organization, alhamdulillah, and that kind of was a very positive effect on me, because that's where I learned my religion really, and I was more kind of practicing and more religious.
Right, so how was the religious in the house those days?
It wasn't very, actually when the early days, we wasn't very religious, you know. I think it goes from...
Did that come to the family?
Religious came...
Bobby came and bring it with her?
No, it was obviously initially, all right, we used to pray, etc., but we wasn't outwardly religious.
So, for example, you're an RFC, you go and raise money for RFC. Why? You don't need to do this. Why do you do it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I do it because I want to help people. There's a religious obligation, etc. But there is a real need to help people.
But within yourself, there is some element that you want to help others. Sports don't make lots of money for you, you know, within the community. You could have become... you could have become a good accountant, and you could have earned a few £100,000.
Right,
but why did you choose this?
You're right, because you know, I sometimes ask myself, because if I devoted a lot of time to my profession, I could have been like better off financially. But it gives me more pleasure to help my own community, help young people. That gives...
May Allah keep it that way then. May Allah keep it that way, right. So what sort of... do you remember you've seen something on Channel S and it touched your heart, like from the COVID, since you got involved? Any sort of project we done that it touched you?
Yeah, I mean, many years ago, you know, Cyclone Sidor, if you remember, when it was a big...
2008,
yes. 2008, yes. You know, it was devastated. And we, BFA, Bangladesh Football Association, or Sporting Foundation now, we had a project with Channel S, and we raised funds to rebuild villages.
I remember we gone to Milan stadiums and there was a competition. I just now, it's gone back to my memory, yes.
When you see like Bangladeshi people like suffering, you know, their homes being destroyed, you know, water everywhere, yeah.
Right, let me just recap. So, the football associations you were involved, now called Sporting Foundation, doing great. Are you still putting the spots within the Bengalis in Tower Hamlets and other places?
Yeah, inshallah. Amra to shop shomoy, amra Sporting Bangalore, then uddesho is 30 years ago is to promote Amra Bengali youngsters to professional level. That was our Amra uddesho, and it still remains. And you'll be pleased to know, Joliba, we play at the highest level.
Yes.
And the Sporting Bengal step 4, we play at the highest level, which is something to really be proud of as a British Bangladeshi. We are very proud of that.
Okay, let's just ask some serious questions, right? What sort of legacy you want to leave behind?
Legacy, I think I want to leave a legacy where, you know, I feel that people will say that I've done good things, like especially for young people, and people remember me in a good way and they pray for me.
Okay. What do you want to say to Sasi for her support to all of your life?
Well, obviously, I would like to thank her very much.
Is she stay with you or with your younger brother?
She stays with my younger brother.
But do you go and see her?
Yeah, obviously, very.
Are you still the closest son to her?
Yes, you'd be surprised. Anything.
All the oldest are.
Yeah, I don't know if you're the oldest.
Yes,
but
yes, I am.
Regardless, you know, she always calls me in the hour of need. You know, so.
And you mentioned about importance of passion of forgiveness. Can you just elaborate?
I think, you know, as human beings, we make mistakes. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect.
None of
and
us
the best
are.
way to do, and we have sometimes grudges, or you know, we don't get on people. But I found to forgive people and move on is the best thing to do.
What would you like to say to our viewers that আমরা যখন donate করি, আমরা wealth decrease হয় না, we find peace? What would you like to say to them?
Well, I would say please keep on donating to good causes. Charities never decreases wealth, borong so it increases. I've experienced that, and we as Muslims have to have that belief.
The last word from you. What would you like to say to Bobby?
I don't know. I love you. That might be cheesy.
No, that's fine.
Well, thank you. I mean, Jazakallah. I mean, I'm feeling that covers everything. Jazakallah to everybody.
Thank you very much. May Allah bless you. Viewers, what an interesting. আমরা অনেক কিছু শিখছি। এগুলো হচ্ছে ইন্সপিরেশন আমরা লাগি, বিকজ আমরা পৃথিবীত আজীবন থাকতাম না, আমরা নির্দিষ্ট সময় লাগে এই পৃথিবীতে আইছি, এরপরে আমরা সব যাই, বিকজ আমরা কিছু লেগেসি রাখিয়ে যাইতে হইব। আল্লাহ কইছেন আমরা মানুষের পাশে দাঁড়াইতাম, এন্ড দিস সর্ট অফ আরো ভাই লাইক পিপল লাইক দেম, তারা আসলে আরো বেটার করতে পারতো ফাইন্যান্সিয়ালি না করিয়া দে চুজেন টু হেল্প আদার্স। আপনারা ভালো থাকবা, আরো এপিসোড আপনার লগে দেখা হইব। লেটস গো। থ্যাংক ইউ।